Two techniques that are very similar are blocking and dragging. Dragging usually uses something like this sheepskin applicator, or it can also use brushes. The purpose of dragging is that you want to put vertical lines into your scene painting. It usually requires an undercoat, some sort of paint job underneath, and then you're going to put another paint on top of it, and it's going to be somewhat translucent like a glaze, or you're going to take some of the paint off in the process. You can brush your paint on and then use your tool to stripe through it, but we're just going to apply it with the applicator and then take it off with the applicator and see how that goes. I'm just dipping it into the paint. And that doesn't work at all, does it? It's a little bit thick, this paint, so that's not working at all. Okay, that's not working. We've watered down the paint a little bit, and now the applicator is starting to do what it's supposed to do. It's creating vertical lines in the paint job through the application of the sheepskin applicator. The idea is that you're creating vertical lines. It could be like faux wallpaper. It could be a wallpaper base. It also is just used as a faux finish in houses. And then you do other things on top of it if you like, but it's to create this sort of natural striation. Dragging or strié is a common household finish and can create dramatic effects by using a faux finish glazing compound which is wet blended with your applicator. In theatrical applications, you would want to use a paint mixture that has a higher water content than normal, more than I used in my initial example of red paint. You can also use a flogger or dragging brush as an alternative to the wool applicator. I often use these brushes for spattering because of the longer, flexible bristles. This is an example in a home or business setting. Notice the parallel lines on the entire wall surface. You will need some practice to be able to do this consistently. You can also do cross-hatching, which is called a linen technique. So if you do crisscrossing, usually you'll do this in 2 layers though, so you'll do one with a diagonal and then let it dry and then do the other with a diagonal so that all the layers show up. To accomplish the linen technique, apply one coat in one direction. Let it dry completely. Then apply another coat of paint and glaze to create a perpendicular cross-hatching, which reads like the pattern in linen fabric. This is a variation on the linen dragging technique used for Cal State LA's performance of Burn This. The linear dragging technique provided visual interest while also representing the creative world of the main character and her loft living space. This scenic technique was inspired by aged burlap and similar fabrics, canvas sails, and other visual references. So this is called dragging, or its more fancy name is called strié. Strié is spelled S-T-R-I-E with the accent. Blocking is similar to dragging, except we're using a wood block to remove some of the paint and to create a little more of an erratic or natural organic variation in the removal. The idea is then, through application of this and however you use it, there's going to be a lot of varieties and ways you can use it, but you can remove the paint. You can go any direction you want. It's just a different way of creating a different kind of aged look. If my block gets full of paint, I can wipe that off with a paper towel or something. I'm just going cross-hatching to create an erratic pattern, not for any particular purpose, but just to have it differentiate a little bit from my Strié or my dragging technique. Both of these are one of our techniques that we put paint on and then we take the paint off. There's a lot of variety of techniques you can use. You can even use sandpaper and sanding, scraping. You can use a putty knife to scrape and remove your paint in a controlled fashion. There's endless ways you can remove paint in a controlled fashion.